Hare Krishna. This morning we will be reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 8, Prayers by Queen Kunti. The verse today is the first verse of the prayers of Queen Kunti. It introduces us to these prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tatam Tato Jamudirayat. Nastvezya Bhatreso Nityam Bhagavata Sevya Bhagavati Utamaski Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. So text 17. Brahma Tejo Vinirmukter Atmajai Sa Krishnaya Prayana Binmukam Krishnam Idam Aha Pita Sati. Word for word translation. Brahma Teja, the radiation of the Brahmastra, Vimuktai, being saved from, Atmajai, along with her sons, Saha, with Krishnaya, Draupadi, Prayana, outgoing, Abhimukam, towards, Krishnam, and to Lord Krishna, Idam, this, Aha, Sat, Prita, Kunti, Sati, chaste, devoted to the Lord, devoted to the Lord. Translation and purport by Abhayacharya Vinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Thus saved from the radiation of the Brahmastra, Kunti, the chaste devotee of the Lord, and her 5 sons and Draupadi addressed Lord Krishna as he started for home. Krishna is described herein as Sati, due to her unalloyed devotion to Lord Krishna. Her mind will now be expressed in the following prayers for Lord Krishna. A chaste devotee of the Lord does not look to others, namely any other living being or demigod, even for deliverance from danger. That was all along the characteristic of the whole family of the Pandavas. They knew nothing except Krishna, and therefore the Lord was also always ready to help them in all respects and in all circumstances. That is the transcendental nature of the Lord. He reciprocates the dependence of the devotee. One should not therefore look for help from imperfect living beings or demigods, but one should look for all help from Krishna, who is competent to save his devotees. Such a chaste devotee also never asks the Lord for help, but the Lord, out of his own accord, is always anxious to render it. Verse again, Brahma Tejo Vinirmukter Atmajai Sa Krishnaya Prayana Bhimukam Krishnam Idam Aha Vitakshati. Thus saved from the radiation of the Brahmastra, Kunti, the chaste devotee of the Lord, and her 5 sons and Draupadi addressed Lord Krishna as he started for home. Om Mahyanatimanasya Chinansana Shanakya Sakshanvitam Yana Tasmai Shigave Namah Shichetayamano Bishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutai Svamraparamyam dadati svapadantikam. Vandeham Shiru Shiyudapadkamnam Shirum Vaishnavamsha Shirupam Jagajatam Saganaragnatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabrutam Parjana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Saganalita Shivishakam Vitam Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandha Jatpate Gopesha Gopakanta Radhikant Namaste Tapta Kansana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwar Vishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamama Hari Priya Panka Kalpa Vishya Kripa Sindhavesha Patnam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavyo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishnu Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pachari Nirvishesa Srinyavadi Paskachari Dasatam Srila Prabhupada Ki. So Krishna is leaving for Dwarka. The battle of Kurukshetra is over. Yudhishthira Maharaj is put on the throne. All the death are cremated, and the rituals have been done. And Krishna is leaving. But here, the Pandavas are his eternal associates, and they knew nothing except Krishna. That we know that the Lord reciprocates with a devotee who is fully dependent on him. That here it is said, a chaste devotee never asks the Lord for help. That a chaste devotee. Interesting expression. That but to such a devotee, the Lord is always eager to render service. That, but here, this word sati, it has different meanings. In mundane terms, it means a chaste woman. It's a woman. Yeah, it's also sati's also a way to address a woman. That respectful woman is also called sati. But the spiritual meaning here is a little different. Sati has a spiritual meaning, and it means here someone who is completely loyal to Krishna. That it's different from the pure material sense of the meaning where chastity means one is loyal to the husband. The woman is loyal to the husband. So that loyalty to the husband or loyalty even to family members, it's a big issue in the Vedic culture. We have in the Ramayana, you had Vibhishan. Vibhishan was the brother of Ravan. But Vibhishan was pious and he didn't agree with the actions of Ravan. So he went to Ram and he became loyal to Ram. But when he came to surrender to Ram, big generals of the monkey army, they said, yes, he had an argument. They said, how can we trust him? He's loyal to his brother. That his brother is a big demon, so how can we trust him? So that in the Vedic culture, this loyalty to family is it's a big issue. That so, but if we are loyal to someone in this world, then that is not a safe shelter. That there are many kinds of loyalty in this world, but it's not safe. You can be under the protection of a government or a certain person, a leader, but they all finally disappear. They're very temporary, and mostly they are not trustworthy. So that kind of loyalty in this world will not bring us anywhere. That we saw in the Mahabharata, there you have Karna. That Karna was elevated by Duryodhana to the status of a king, although he was born as a son of a carpenter, or was raised by a carpenter, not born because he was the son of Kunti. But anyway, Kunti abandoned her child, and it was raised by a carpenter. But Karna was elevated to Duryodhana to the status of a king, and Karna felt, I owe my life to Duryodhana. Even later, when Krishna told Karna, you are factually the firstborn son of Kunti. So you should be the king. So abandon this so-called loyalty to Duryodhana, but Karna would not. He felt his life, he owned his life to Duryodhana. And the same with Bhishma Dev. Bhishma Dev, because he was maintained by the Kaurs, he felt loyalty to the Kaurs, that because they were maintaining him. So this loyalty is also tied to gratitude. We own a debt of gratitude. That so you have Drona and Bhishma. Yeah. That's in Bhagavad Gita, it's mentioned that Arjuna has an argument not to fight. He said, how can I fight with Dronacharya, my teacher, or with Bhishma Dev, my grandfather? I should not give them even a verbal fight. But still, there was a problem there. Yeah. Because they were not 100% worthy of giving a loyalty to, because they have done abominable things. That, yeah. But a devotee, he opposes all these feelings of kinship, of relationships in the Lord. Lord Krishna is our father, our mother, our friend. This is where the loyalty to Krishna lies. And that is what is meant here. The Pandavas, Kunti, they were 100% loyal to Krishna, not to anyone else. Because in this world, if we give loyalty to certain persons, these persons have their own interests. And finally, they may turn against us. I've seen it in my life so many times. So-called family members. That no, that even if a person is a liberated person has not the power and protection of God. Because what does the pure devotee do? He introduces us to Krishna. So only Krishna has the full capacity, and he's maintaining all living entities. So only Krishna is staying with us life after life. We see Mother Yasoda, she knows only Krishna. So Krishna does not only have the power to protect us, but also he has a desire to take care of all the surrendered souls. And Krishna's way of caring is perfect. The caring of living entities may work or may not work, but Krishna's ways are perfect. So it may not appear as protection to us, but because we see one may lose one's wife, one's husband, one's house may be burned. How is Krishna going to protect us? But the devotee has no doubt. He does not ask for anything of the Lord. And the devotee knows only Krishna's will is happening. Not a blade of grass moves without the will of the Lord. And the devotee knows all ability that I have is from Krishna. And the devotee is concerned, what is Krishna's plan? What is Krishna willing? We see here Uttara, she took shelter of Krishna in danger. And he also Queen Kunti. But a devotee of Krishna never demands anything from Krishna. When in the cowherd boys, when there was a forest fire, they took all shelter of Krishna. So that's our goal. To have our goal must be clear. It's loyalty to God, loyalty to Krishna, and to no one else. We should never take our allegiance to anyone else. You see, there is this is in the Bhagavatam that so says Arjuna, when he was in Dwarka, there was this Brahman, and already 9 times he got a son which was born and immediately died. It was, yeah. And the Brahman went to the king and said to the king, yes, what kind of, he said to him, what kind of king are you, that in your presence a son dies before the father? There must be something wrong with your ruling. And Arjuna heard it, and he said, I will protect your next son will be born. I will stand there so that Yamaraj cannot take him. Otherwise, if I fail, I will enter fire, Arjuna said. And then Arjuna started to worship Lord Shiva to get power, not to Krishna. But then when the child was born, he died. He could not save it. And then he was going to enter fire. And Krishna said, what are you going to do? And Arjuna explained what happened. And I said, no, I know where, Krishna said, I know who has taken these sons. And they went together to see Mahavishnu, who had taken away the sons, because if Mahavishnu wanted to see Krishna, that was the reason. But Arjuna was failed because he did not take shelter of Krishna. So our ultimate chastity is to Krishna. And that, of course, there are these two meanings of chastity here. The wife towards the husband, or can also mean brahmacharya for man. That, or chastity here means allegiance to Krishna. That, yes, if we take shelter of Krishna solely, then Krishna will protect. That, there is a story of Priyavrata, who was a great brahmachari doing austerities in the Himalayas. But at that time, the whole world was overgrown by trees. And because there was no king. And Brahma wanted Priyavrata to become the king, but then the spiritual master of Priyavrata said, no, don't do it. You better just remain a brahmachari and be peaceful. But then Brahma came down, who is the spiritual master of Narada Muni, and told Priyavrata, no, you have to become the king. But Priyavrata was asking, is that not dangerous for me, family life? That I will be Maya? That will I not fall down? And Brahma said, no, that as I got the order of the Supreme Lord to populate this universe, I give that same order to you. And if you fulfill that order, your goal of life is to fulfill the order of the Supreme Lord, then you will always be protected by the spirit, from the illusory energy. So that chastity, that allegiance to Krishna saves us from being deviated and illusion. Luckily, we see also Prithu Maharaj, who was in Sakyavesha's avatar of the Lord. At the end of his life, when he went to the forest with his wife Archie to perform austerities, and finally, that Prithu Maharaj left his body while meditating in the forest. While in yogic meditation, he left his body. And then Archie made a pyre of wood for burning the body of Prithu Maharaj. And when it was burning, she entered into the fire. And that is a sati rite, leaving with the husband. And because she, due to her allegiance to their husband, separation would be more painful than death. But of course, this is nothing to be imitated. That. So we have this family affection, so-called family affection. When Krishna played his flute and then all the gopis were attracted, went to the forest to dance with Krishna. But Krishna told them, you should go back home, you should be with your husband. But the higher understanding is that Krishna is the only object of devotion. That because the gopis, they surrendered everything for Krishna's pleasure. That they surrendered everything. That so one of the most chaste women in history was Arundhati, the wife of Vashishta. But it is said even she takes lessons in chastity of Radharani. That, when Lord Chaitanya came to South India, he came to Venkatapata, a Brahmin. And the Brahmin was a devotee of Lord Ram. That, this Brahman Venkatabhata, because I've been in contact a few years ago with descendants of Venkatabhata from Srirangam. And they belong usually to the Sri Sampradaya. But Venkatabhata was converted by Lord Chaitanya and took shelter of the Gaudiya Sampradaya. But he was originally from the Lakshmi Sampradaya, from Sri Sampradaya. And when Lord Chaitanya visited them, the Brahmin said to Lord Chaitanya, I have a problem. Ravan must have touched Sita, so Sita was impure by that. So, and by that Sita's chastity must have been affected. But then Lord Chaitanya, he showed him, because he went to South India. In South India, Lord Chaitanya discovered, so-called discovered, of course he knew where they are. He discovered the Brahma Samhita, which we are chanting every day, Govindamadi Purusham Tamam Bhajami, which is factually only the 50th chapter of the Brahma Samhita, but the rest is lost. And Krishna Karanamrita. And he found also scripture in South India stating that Lord Ram, he had only contact with a shadow Lakshmi, not with the real Sita. And Lord Chaitanya took that manuscript with him, that original, and showed him to Venkatabhata. And by that, Venkatabhata was pacified. So what does chastity mean for us? As long as we follow Srila Prabhupada's teachings faithfully, chant our rounds, and we follow his teachings and those of the previous acharyas, then we are called chaste to their instructions, and we will always be protected by them. Like Bhishma Dev told Yudhishthira Maharaj when Bhishma Dev was on the bed of arrows and was going to leave his body, he told them, instructed for many days, Yudhishthira Maharaj in religious principles how to rule the kingdom. And it said as long as you are following the religious principles and the instructions of the Brahmins, you will be protected. So the opposite of a chaste woman is a prostitute, and a prostitute does not care for authority. It's arrogance. That we should be very afraid of this. Srila Prabhupada many times said, I'm simply a servant. Therefore, he was able to be used by Krishna as an instrument. So we have to be careful not to put ourselves in the center. Then we will be protected. Yeah. So Vamsidas Babaji, he was invited somewhere to take prasad, and they was taking prasad, and so the snake came, and all the women around, they became very fearful. That they became very fearful. But Vamsidas Babaji, he knocked on the ground 3 times, and the snake went away. That he was just peaceful. That so this is how Maya enters, creating fear in our heart. Krishna was obliged to protect the Pandavas because they were completely dependent on the Lord. So as the lesson here is, if we are completely dependent on the Lord, He will always protect us. In Name Bhaktan Anashati, Krishna says, my devotee will never perish. So these are the introduction to the teachings of Queen Kunti. Kunti knew very well Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So she knew everything belongs to Krishna. That Krishna is Supreme Proprietor. That is a Supreme Enjoyer. That and that will be expressed in the next verses. We will see how Queen Kunti reveals our relationship with Krishna. That that's yes. She knows Krishna's position very well. She doesn't think Krishna is my nephew because the father of Krishna is Vasudeva, and Kunti is the sister of Vasudeva. The sister of Vasudeva. But she does not think Krishna is my nephew. But Krishna follows etiquette. He's leaving for Dwarka. But first he goes to Queen Kunti, offers respects because she is the sister of his father. But factually we see that Queen Kunti is offering respect to Krishna because she knows he's the Supreme Lord. And this prayers will continue for many verses. Prabhupada was very fond of Queen Kunti. Therefore, he wrote also teachings of Queen Kunti. that prayers of the Queen Kunti, very beautiful and very deep lessons. Here we get the insight of the consciousness of a pure devotee, that who knows Krishna and is situated always in a relationship with Krishna. It means the consciousness is always, of Queen Kunti was always linked with Krishna, whatever happened. So this is the introductory verse, I would say, to the teachings of Queen Kunti. Any questions, comments?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Yeah. Thank you very much, Maharaj, for explaining how to align with Srila Prabhupada's teachings and the previous Acharya's teaching. On a practical aspect, Maharaj, how we can always be aligned, because many times we get distracted, and then again, if we hear some lecture, then again we try to align ourselves. But on regular basis, how we can do that?
That it's a very simple thing. Before you do something or plan to do something, you think, if Krishna is Krishna pleased with that? Is Prabhupada pleased with that? There's a difference explained between a demon and a devotee. That this is explained at the end of the 16th chapter. Tasma pramanam te karya vyafasta fasasta vidonuktam karma kartumidarisi. One should therefore understand what is duty, what is not duty, by the regulations of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that one may be fairly elevated. So one must do that always. That because in the previous verse, Krishna says, Yashastra vidinuchita vartate kamakarta nasasitam avapnasinaskam naparamgatim. He who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness, nor the supreme destination. So that's clear. Whatever we do, we must consider, is Krishna pleased with it? Is this according to the instructions of Krishna? Of course, a person in a liberated stage, he does automatically what Krishna is pleased with. Because Srila Prabhupada explains in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna consciousness means following the dictations of the super soul within. Pure devotee is always in the heart connected with Krishna. So before we do something, we ask Krishna in the heart that, yes, is this what you desire? But somewhere or another, because the contamination of our heart, we don't feel or don't hear his answer. Therefore, Krishna gave us Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. These are checkpoints for everything we do, everything. So that is the issue. Does that help?
Yes, Maharaj. Well, thank you, Maharaj.
Something else? But next week we start with verse 18, and we will start with the teachings of Queen Kunti and learn what spiritual consciousness factoring means. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Gauranga.
Vijay Bhakti Prabha Maharaj ki jai. Thank you very much, Maharaj. And hopefully we'll see you in Deland the next.
Yeah, I hope to be there on Monday, and from next Wednesday we will have the class from Deland. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.